Whams!
So we're moving on to the next segment, which I am assuming both of y'all are way more excited about than I am.
So excited. I've been waiting to cover this album from the beginning.
Yeah, this is
Psychic Warfare by Clutch. Clutch is a band that apparently has, what did you say, 22 albums?
No, they have 13 albums.
13 albums.
But they've been around since like 91, and this is their 11th album.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is Clutch?
Yeah. They're playing at the Norva in November.
Clutch is a band that I'm surprised I hadn't heard of until meeting Bird, where this actually is the first full album you ever played for me as like an indicator of your taste, basically. Because you're mostly a playlist listener. So like I'd probably heard a couple of these songs in playlists, but then you were like, let me put on this Clutch album.
So how I was introduced to Clutch was purely Firebirds was recommended, or no, it wasn't Firebirds, it was X-Ray Visions was recommended to me, and I went, damn, this shit fucks.
Yeah.
And then I listened to the whole album, and it continues to fuck.
Yeah.
But I
recommend it to you on YouTube.
No, Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think.
Do you know
DJ
when this was?
It had to have been very early into my traipsing around the United States era, because
like 2019,
2020, maybe 2021.
This album's from 2015.
Yeah.
The way it sounds, this album could have come out at any point between 1991 and now, and I would have believed that it came out that year.
Any time between the 60s and
yes, ever.
Well, I mean, like the way it sounds is a little more modern than that, but like
mixing wise,
I legit thought this was like, until I looked it up, I thought this was an early 2000s album.
Well,
because
so
it sounds like from the era of like when Wolf Mother was a thing.
So
like,
what would we score this?
I'm assuming Bird's giving it a 10.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it's an 8.
Okay.
Light 8.
I don't feel as bad about saying it's a 7 for me if you say it's an 8.
And I knew it was going to be a 7 for you going into it.
Yeah.
Purely because B told me.
Okay. Well, I didn't tell her until like Wednesday.
Yeah, I heard about it. But so for me, a lot of my, let's say 2019 to 2023-ish was driving. Just driving constantly, going around, just doing road trips. And these are some of the best road trip songs you can have. Specifically, X-Ray Visions and Firebirds are like road trip songs. Like Firebirds especially is talking about meeting a woman
in Needles,
picking her up. You get to Barstow. It's like, wait, when did we get to Barstow? And they're just going around doing funky shit.
Yeah. I'll get into the depths of that.
You get talks about meeting the ghosts of Ronald and Nancy Reagan.
and lyrically, I don't listen to lyrics, but like,
right.
And that's the thing that probably sets us apart. So
it's definitely like the fans of Clutch definitely care about the lyrics, in as much as it's mentioned a lot in writing about them.
The energy is great. There's great energy. It's very rock. Like
rock and roll.
This came out in 2015.
Heavy rock.
It is more rock than anything else, I think.
That was coming out in 2015. Yeah,
it is rock. Like I can't say,
That's why I thought it was from the early 2000s, because in the early 2000s there was a revival of this blues rock, heavy rock sound.
But this isn't either of those. It's just like rock.
I
don't think it's heavy.
Yeah,
it's heavy. This is heavy.
It's a little heavy.
It's at least as heavy as AC/DC, and that's considered hard rock.
Sure.
Rock and roll is the Beatles. This is way heavier than anything other than the song "She's So Heavy" by the Beatles. So like.
But my big thing with them is that aside from the vocalist, what am I listening to?
There's like charging rock.
There's nothing there.
The
drummer is doing this almost the same thing.
I'll give you the drummer.
The guitar player is doing like a couple licks, I guess.
Guitars are great.
The bass player is ignorable, and then the vocalist is like. Okay, he's got
a voice like this.
He's doing the same voice that like Proto Man does, which is cool.
Interesting
I like that
comparison.
And then
I could see
his vocal mixing is the same as Ozzy Osbourne, which is cool.
Also interesting.
But
Shade, I have one thing to say to you. And on the drums, Gemini.
And that was cool.
On bass guitar,
in the second
presenting
song.
Pisces. On lead guitar, we have Aries.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do the other part because I can't.
Sagittarius!
No, it's on the microphone Scorpio.
Scorpio!
Yeah. I don't know.
Pay
This
attention to
ticks-
some of the lyrics.
Yeah, this ticks like all of the
Some of 'em.
boxes for me. The
Yeah.
lyrics are great. The
Listen,
guitar is heavy.
These
I get where you're coming from with the bass. The bass isn't super present, but I think everything else makes up
So
for
I
it.
gotta
that's
say
1/4 of it.
I'm actually like warging back to when I heard this album for the first time. The drums bothered me a lot too. Like when
Yeah.
I first heard this album, the fact that the drums are very samey and were kind of like
They're almost the same
repetitive
beat
throughout the
every
album.
song.
but also like in general, I have historically only really enjoyed syncopated drums, by which I mean they're like deliberately a little off. It's not like hit, 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 hit. When we started dating, all of the music Bird listens to is hit, 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 hit drums, and it all drove me insane. Until I heard enough of it to stop
So
Stop being a
considering
hater.
that a bad
Those-
thing.
those-
Basically, I
the
had to get
drums
used
in
to
this
that.
album are mostly syncopated, but like,
They are, but like
Yeah.
they're the same exact.
but it's the same syncopation.
But
yeah.
that was what made it easier to listen to than all the rest of Bird's music for me at the time. Was like
This is
most
the
of it was
first album that we've done on this show that I have listened to
like,
more than twice
so the-
in the week leading up to this show.
yeah,
Well, I listened to it 4
and
times.
historically hundreds of times.
But-
I assume.
So
No,
at least dozens.
maybe
the
100.
standout songs to me, right, were
Yes.
Firebirds.
Yes,
Firebirds is the
energy
best song.
weapons. For
Which-
these things are interesting to me.
Yeah, Firebird, Energy Weapons is really fun to say. A Quick Death in Texas
Yes.
was an interesting
Actually,
song,
so
kind of.
going back real quick, that is actually the first song I was introduced to from this album. It
Yeah.
I was
wasn't
surprised
X-Ray
because,
Visions or
like,
Firebirds.
even though I know you played me this whole album early in our relationship, again, you're not an albums listener, so we didn't listen to it again. But there are the first 4 songs, not counting the intro, which is just like a whatever 30
the
second.
affidavit. Yeah.
Not counting that, the next 4 songs are all
X-Ray
songs.
Visions, Firebirds, Quick Death in Texas, and Sucker for the Witch.
All of these have lived on your playlists the entire time we've been together. I was so shocked to find out they're all on the same album, like because
It's
I've
actually
heard them all
super
so
interesting.
many times
I'm
now.
looking at the plays. The
Yeah.
next song I was going to mention is Doom Saloon. But Doom Saloon has
No.
That's only
the
1
least
minute long,
plays.
right?
Yeah.
Doom
Well,
Saloon's
because it's like
a
an
1 minute
interstitial.
interlude.
Yeah, which I guess it kind of plays into Lady of Electric Light. So what I was going to bring up with Doom Saloon
Yeah.
is that it's just the beginning of Child of Time by Deep Purple.
I don't know that. But they do sound like Deep Purple.
It goes
in a,
blum 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 for like 4 minutes,
I
and then he goes
specifically the song that plays right after that, I specifically remember thinking, this sounds like what little I know of Deep Purple. And so that makes sense. And that would probably be one of their big influences.
And
But
another
then
thing I
Son
will
of Virginia
say,
is another
Son of
notable one.
Virginia is a banger.
Yeah.
Another thing I will say, Behold the Colossus and Decapitation Blues are songs that are on previous albums of Clutch. So I believe they are re-records.
Weird.
It's weird, yes, but I appreciate it because I've listened to the other ones as well, and they're both great. They're all still great. Clutch is a fun band to listen to.
My impression of this album overall is that if I had listened to this if this had existed rather when I was a teenager, I would have loved this because energetic hard rock with funny, goofy lyrics, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah,
And there's a part of me that thinks maybe I would have thought it was like, I don't know, kind of basic. But if the
I
first
think
song
what
I
you
had
mean
heard,
to say is telekinetic prophetic dynamite.
yeah, if the first song I had heard was Firebirds,
Psychic warfare is real.
and
you
yeah,
better
there's-
believe me,
there's-
brother.
There's some
X-ray
goofy,
visions.
there's some goofy, really kind of nerdy,
telekinetic
very
prophetic
energetic
dynamite.
lyrics that I think are pretty
Psychic
fun.
warfare is real.
Oh, I always
And-
call this
and
dark rock.
Firebird is a fun ass song.
Yeah.
right. Is that
I
your
say.
favorite?
Either Firebird or Son of Virginia.
Okay. So I think for me, it's in terms of like energy, it's a tie between Firebirds and Quick Death in Texas. I really like Quick Death in Texas.
I just don't like the.
You mean bow bow now 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 bow
Oh,
bow
yeah,
now
it's not
now
awesome.
bow now 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 bow bow now now now
Yeah, the one
now.
you were just doing was Son of Virginia.
Yeah, I was just on
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But
I
no,
don't like the fucking just
Down,
southern
down,
guitar.
the thing that ties it up for
down.
me with Quick Death in Texas is when he just starts like hard rock singing the just
Yeah.
random names of
Oh,
Beaumont,
Amarillo.
got a lot on me. Galveston, El
Bro has
Paso,
never-
Nacogdoches,
Okay,
Abilene.
this is
I've
where I
never
have-
been to a southern state.
I have to. So that's the thing, right? This band is from Maryland. They're
And-
from
right?
just just
Weird.
north of Washington D.C.
All of it is southern.
This is important to mention because Maryland's not the South. It's almost the South. The guys.
Virginia is hardly the South. Sorry, hot take.
Yeah, no, I agree.
No, it's hardly the south.
But if you
Yeah.
look at these guys, they do not look like Southerners. They look like they're from New England. They look
are.
like big time nerds. I've always considered this like this is music for tabletop gamers and like fucking like I call it dork rock. There's a guy named Finn McKenty who used to be a YouTuber about hard rock, and he always called them divorced dad rock. Completely see that too. But like they are not
I actually
Southerners.
have not seen a picture of them until now.
They are not Southern rockers. They are clearly
They
trying
are
to
way
sound.
older than I thought they would be.
Oh, yeah. They've been around since
Yeah.
1991 as a band. That's as old as me. They've been a band as long as I've been
They
alive.
kind of look like Canadians.
That means they're all like 50.
like that's how north they look.
Marylanders.
Yeah, they look like Northerners. They do not look like Southerners, but they make Southern rock music, blues infused Southern
Well, once
rock,
you enter
heavy
the
rock.
south of Canada, where are you?
The South. But so there's lots of Southern references on this album. Like Son of Virginia is the northernmost song that takes place on this album. You got Quick Death in Texas.
Recite your lineage and genealogy. You've got to
know
know your history.
Son
of Virginia.
But yeah, Quick Death in Texas, obviously set in Texas. Firebirds is set in California / Nevada.
Slash Texas.
Texas.
Oh no, Needles. Right.
Needles is in Nevada. Okay, let me get into it. This album is for people who have road tripped America.
Yes.
If you have spent a lot of time driving around America, you know all the towns listed in this album. And if you haven't spent a lot of time driving around America, there's no fucking way you've heard of Barstow or Needles or Amarillo or any of the other fucking
there is
cities
a chance you've heard of
mentioned.
Barstow.
You don't know fucking Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is mentioned in the song. Like, Barstow and Needles are the cities you drive through on your way from LA to Las Vegas. They don't talk about Las Vegas and LA. They talk about Needles and Barstow. Needles is 30 minutes from Vegas. Barstow's 30 minutes from LA. They're 4 hours apart. If you've driven that stretch, you've been through these two cities.
I've barely left Virginia.
Exactly. So you wouldn't know any of these cities that they're
I don't
mentioning.
know shit about
You know,
this.
guys, here's what we need to get down to. We need to make enough money on Whams that we can take this show on the road.
The first,
We need to all be
That-
living
I
in
mean,
an
that
RV.
would be kind of cool.
let me
I
say
don't- I
this.
don't want to live
This
in an
album
RV,
has
but
literally grown on me because
6
of
months
being
out
to
of
the
the year.
places
It's
that
not
are
I will.
mentioned.
I will go in an RV with y'all for a week. You
When-
know?
3 months out of the year.
Okay,
That's
look,
a long time.
2 months out of the year.
when I first heard this album would have been when me and Bird first got together and we were driving to Washington, D.C., which is where the band is actually basically from. But I heard Firebirds, and all I knew about it was
Energy weapons.
I didn't think he was saying Firebirds. I thought he was saying Fireballs. So I thought it was Fireballs, energy weapons. Both these things are interesting to me. I thought it was about doing
Fireball.
magic. I literally thought it was like wizard battle music.
Another thing about Firebirds, which I think is fun to mention,
It's sci-fi.
it is totally about a guy falling in love with an alien.
What?
It's well, okay. So it's he meets a woman outside of Barstow, or outside of Needles. The reason that this song hits with me now is that the drive from Needles to Barstow,
And or the Phoenix from X-Men comics.
the drive from Needles to Barstow is through the desert. This is the drive that they're on in Fear and Loathing when the Bat Country happens. Like, it's that stretch of road. It's just pure open desert driving from Needles to Barstow. So when he talks about how he's losing his mind outside of Needles because his car broke down, he's in the desert. He meets this woman who just comes out of the bushes and says, like, hey, I can help you out. And he's like, cool. But she's like, I will join your... She basically joins his party on the premise that she's really into Firebirds and energy weapons. And if he
Outside
can
of Needles,
acquire these
I
things...
nearly lost
I have-
my mind.
I have never
I pulled
been
over
in
on the
a
shoulder
desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I was there for some
I
time.
have not seen a desert.
Wait, that's insane. A young thing
I
came
had never seen a
walking
desert till we started traveling together.
from out behind the trees. She gave me consolations.
And this is what she said to me. Firebirds! Energy weapons! Both these things are very interesting to me. Oh, I don't care how you get them. I need them both and I need them urgently.
And then he bullshits his way through and he goes, yeah, I said I can get with that. I like those things too.
But I don't own a Firebird. Perhaps this Datsun will do.
Do you know what a Datsun is?
I know what a Firebird is.
Yes.
A Datsun's a worse
Datsun,
car.
It used to be a Nissan. Datsun was Nissan.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, I've got a shitty car. Do you want to join me? Basically, they get to overheat and they start fucking. They hang out all summer. They live off the land for a while. And then at some point, she leaves him because he can't get a hold of a Firebird or an energy
weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's the premise of the song. But it takes place between Needles and Barstow. That fact, if you know those two cities, changes the whole song. Where, like, again, I thought it was a song about, like, I don't know, it's a cool song about sci-fi stuff. But when you've been to Needles and Barstow, you get that it's about being stuck in the desert between Las Vegas and LA. And that's what it sounds like. That's what it feels like. That's what the instruments feel like. When you listen to Swift Death in Texas, it sounds like Quick Death in Texas. It sounds like driving through Amarillo, which is a city in the middle of the desert in the panhandle of Texas.
As a liberal, very specifically, because that song is about
about being a Yankee
away.
My nasty Yankee.
But it's not just Texas. It's like the most far-flung, out-of-the-way part of Texas you would only ever pass through if you're driving across country. Nobody from Texas knows Amarillo unless they're from Amarillo or they do long-distance driving. Like,
Gary always, I actually get my kicks on Route 66.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. If you don't know what that means, that's...
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Route 66 is the most famous road in the world.
What?
Have you not heard
How?
of Route 66?
In the world?
Get your kids.
Have you ever seen the movie
Route
Cars?
66.
There's like fucking Russian people are like, I know.
Route 66 is by far the most famous road in the
it was
world.
like the first highway.
It's the only like meme
What?
road that exists.
Meme road.
Yeah, there's so
no
much
road.
Route 66.
No, I-64 is a meme road.
Route 66 has been memed since the 50s, like as a massive cultural meme, because it is the road that connects Chicago to LA. And so, like, basically, civilization in America only went as far west as Chicago until they built Route 66 to LA, and it started building from the other side.
Carrie, I've been to Barstow.
Yeah, no, we've spent a lot of time in Barstow. There's a Steezy there. That's where I learned about Steezy.
You're living under a rock if you don't know about Route 66.
Obviously,
Shane
I
has
think-
never been out of Virginia, and even
Obviously,
then,
I've
not Eastern Virginia.
Heard Route 66.
Have you been to
It's
Richmond?
just a fucking road. I don't know what the
Shane,
fuck it means.
Have you been to Richmond?
Yeah.
Have you been to Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
Have you been to Charles?
Bro, exactly. Have you never watched Cars? Cars is literally
I
about...
wouldn't remember
I actually
what
don't know
road
if
it's
I
about.
watched Cars.
Cars
I
is-
watched most of it. I think.
Cars is literally about a town that was on Route 66 that is dying because a
Interstate
major
40.
highway.
So as much as we're memeing on Route 66, Interstate 40 actually replaced Route 66.
Killed
They're like
it.
concurrent with each other, but Route 66 is a dead road. It was a big
I mean,
meme
it
road
exists,
for a long time.
but it's not upkept the same way
Yeah.
it used to be.
I-40
We
is the
drove a
replacement.
fair
All I'm
amount on
saying
Route
is that people in
66.
China are not talking about Route 66.
They are because
they
it's a famous.
totally are.
The song "Get Your Kicks" on Route 66 is like a insanely famous song.
In China?
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
Route 66 is the only famous road in the world, other than the
Wow.
Silk Road.
Shade,
Like,
I've
touch
lost.
grass.
I'm more tan than either of you.
Gary
and I
always doesn't
have not
count because
touched
he has
grass.
a driving as a job, so he's not allowed
I'm
to
not
say.
tan because I have vitiligo and I'm more predisposed to sun cancer. God damn it! Skin cancer, not sun cancer.
They mention
That's crazy.
so many obscure cities. They never mention a popular city that everybody knows. They don't mention Nashville. They mention Chattanooga. They don't mention Dallas. They mention those 7 cities you mentioned.
Beaumont, Amarillo.
Earlier. Yeah. Half of them I didn't know where they
Nacogdoches,
were.
Abilene. We've been to all of those.
I'm gonna go pee
Literally, we've been to all
I
of those.
had to look up where some of them were because I couldn't remember them. But we are incredibly well traveled.
We haven't been to Galveston for what it's worth.
Okay.
We just
That's like way in the south of Texas.
It's-
on the
so
bay. It's actually
it's
an
a
island.
beach town.
It's an island city.
Galveston. Is
yeah,
it?
it's like an island outside
Okay.
Houston.
Yeah, I don't know.
They deliberately named cities that
Texas
you would
is
not
kind of
know.
scary. I don't know if y'all have ever been
But you
there.
got to remember, this album came out in 2015 when this band had existed for 24 years. They've been everywhere. They've toured America to death. They knew all these towns. They've been to these places.
Who they toured with? Do you remember?
They toured with System of a Down, Marilyn Manson. There was another big band that was mentioned. They've toured with a bunch
Slayer.
of like
That was the
Slayer,
other one.
yeah, a bunch of like real major Mastodon.
And they're coming to the Norva this November, which we're gonna go.
we gotta
see.
go see Clutch. It'll be. Everything I've seen says they have a great live show. So
They have to. And aside from that, God, I need to see these guys in
they're
person.
hard rock popular. They've got one of those cult fan
And
bases.
I will also say, if they don't play Firebirds live, I will be a little
it
upset.
will cause a riot. Yeah. Well, this was their most famous album.
It is?
Yeah, Psychic
Okay.
Warfare was their highest charting album to date.
It's got the most bangers.
They are
I
currently
don't
working
think it
on a
has
14th
their
album.
highest viewed song.
Probably not their number one song. I don't know what that would be though.
I mean, I'll look
The
on
highest
Spotify
song
real
had
quick.
like 44 million.
Okay, let me get
plays.
into criticisms because Shade sounds like he's overwhelmed by us just praising this album to death.
Well, my only criticism is just that there's nothing there. Like it's just
I
the
really disagree, but I
instrumentation
understand.
is just like it's
So,
just like whatever.
here's the thing.
And then the lyrics, like what the lyrics are fine, but like the vocalist is the most interesting thing there. But
I don't think that's a problem.
I think you would feel differently if you didn't treat this as an album, but as a singles album. And here's what I mean by that. X-Ray
Okay.
Visions, super memorable. Firebirds, super memorable.
Quick
Death in Texas, super memorable. Sucker for the Witch, super memorable, especially because you date a witch, and so you always think about me when you listen to the
Yeah,
song.
I was into that song before I got with you, so it's
Yeah.
a self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know.
Sucker for
My
the Witch,
Catholic upbringings.
super memorable. And the last song on the album, Son of Virginia, super memorable. That's 5. There are 5 more songs.
I like Firebird and Son of Virginia enough to remember them.
Will you not remember? But now I'm praying for a quick death in Texas.
I guess I'll remember it, but I don't know. I
Or-
didn't care about it that much.
And in the
Telekinetic
shadows.
prophetic dynamite. Psychic warfare is real.
Is that not
You gotta
Firebirds?
believe me,
No, that's
brother.
X-Ray Visions.
X-Ray Vision.
Oh,
The
okay.
first
Well,
two
that
songs
was
are
good. That
X-Ray
was cool.
Visions and Firebirds. Both of those are by far the best two
In the
songs on the album,
shadows,
in my opinion.
I swear I can hear archaic phrases. The preacher stood up from his table. In his right hand he had a Bible. And in his left, the business end of a Winchester rifle.
That's from Sucker for the Witch, right?
No, that's
Or Quick Death in Texas.
yeah.
You don't even know.
Look,
You don't even know.
in
You're
my
not a real
opinion,
cl-
You don't even know.
Neither of you are real Clutch fans, okay?
You don't even know.
for me, as somebody who's heard those 5 songs I just named 100 times, and the other 5 songs thrice, those 5 songs are super memorable. Particularly, my favorites by far: Firebirds #1, way up here. Firebirds 10 out of 10 song. X-Ray Visions, also great, 9 out of 10. Quick Death in Texas and is like a 8. Son of Virginia is like a 8. Sucker for the Witch is like a 7. The rest is like a 6.
All right.
All of those other 5 songs are
Let me pull up the
totally
track list
unmemorable to
here.
me. They're fine. And I do think if this was an album that, like I said, if I had heard this when I was like 16, I would have run this album into the ground and I would know all the songs. But I would know that 5 of them were not as good, but they're listenable. They're fine. I
So-
would have listened to them all.
Here's where I stand.
But as an adult, I'm like, this is half of an amazing album and half of a mid album.
Please take
I'm
Shane on a
ranking
road trip.
these where I can go, like, because I think it's a 10 across the board. It's a 10. I like all of these songs a lot, but Quick Death in Texas, Firebirds.
If you took Firebirds off of this album, it would be a strong 6 to a light 7. for
Behold
me.
the Colossus, I think, is a real banger.
Didn't do that much. They're all good. They're all like 6 out of 10. All the other 5 songs.
Then X-Ray Visions, then Decapitation Blues, then Son of Virginia, and then Your Love is Incarceration.
Your Love is Incarceration is my least favorite on there.
Oh,
The thing is though is that like the most memorable songs.
I have to pee. Also,
Is
all of these albums are just reheated Queen of the Stone Age nachos.
No,
they're
They
not.
sound nothing the fuck like Queens of
No.
the Stone Age. Stop. Who
Not
said
even
that?
a little bit.
Who said that? Stop it.
I have to pee.
They do not sound anything
ahead.
the fuck like Queens of the Stone Age, and I'm saying this as a Queens of the Stone Age fan.
The thing is,
Me too.
what I felt about this band was that the songs that were memorable just reminded me of songs that I liked more.
Like what?
Like Child of Time. I love that song.
By who?
Deep Purple.
I've never listened to Deep Purple.
It's an 11-minute song.
I literally only know
It's an 11-minute song.
Smoke on the Water.
And the first 4 minutes are blum, blum, blum.
That sounds annoying as shit.
Blum, blum, blum.
No, Clutch is impatient music for ADHD people.
And then it goes blum, blum, blum.
How is that like anything on this album? This is fast, furious.
Because it was how fucking that one song started. I said at
the interstitial
start of
song. Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Proto Men, but I like Proto Men more than this. And then it reminded me of Ozzy Osbourne, but I like Ozzy Osbourne more than this.
What Proto Men song actually sounds like a Clutch song, though? That sounds nothing like a Clutch song.
The way
That
that
song
he's
is like an
singing sounds
80s
like
new
that.
wave song.
The way that he's singing sounds exactly like
Steady sleeping like a soldier trapped inside of an iron
what you're
lung.
doing right now. Just sounds like Clutch to me.
The voice is similar, but Clutch is.
That's not true at all. You're doing the Sonic 2. You're pulling
I
up
was
the
doing
Sonic
fucking
Adventure 2.
Firebirds.
I would
no,
Adventure
you
2.
were.
It sounds very similar. If
I
you
would-
compared it to Sonic Adventure 2, that would be a better fucking comparison.
And I love Crush 40. Like
I
what
would
the
They
hell are you
sound
talking
more
about?
like Crush 40
I
than
would
fucking
like to
Proto
say-
I
Man.
like Crush 40 more than Clutch.
I've literally, in my entire life, never met a more hard in the paint Deep Purple fan than Shade. Because
Why
when
Shade?
Shade says Deep
I gotta
Purple,
pee.
I think bow, bow,
Exactly, that's what I said.
bow.
Wait, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Can I be so?
Yeah,
Can I be
fucking
so
go for it.
vulnerable right now? On
Shade.
Whams.
Shade.
I'll be so vulnerable
Shade,
right now.
We're basically brothers.
I've only heard 3 Deep Purple songs, and they're all on Rock
Then
Band.
go fuck yourself.
Child of Time is on Rock Band. That's why I know about it. And
We
it's
all
awesome.
came out to Montauk on the way to the deeper shoreline.
Smoke on the Water is in Guitar Hero 1, I believe.
Funky
or 2.
running in and out.
And then Child
We
of Time
didn't
is,
have
is
much
in,
time.
I think it's in Rock Band 3 as a DLC originally, but it's in 4 as a DLC now.
I was really taking your opinion, going like, "Oh, this is this is Deep Purple." I was like, "Oh, this guy knows Deep
And
Purple."
maybe I've heard a little bit
I was
more
taking
Deep
it
Purple.
with a lot more credit before you said, "I only know 3 Deep Purple songs," and it's like, "Oh, okay, so you you're just comparing this to 3 songs you've ever heard."
Which I really like.
I like Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water. I have tried to listen to Deep Purple. Clutch blows them out of the water. They blow them out of the smoke on the water.
We're gonna listen to Child in Time, and you're gonna go, man, this is really boring. And I'm gonna be like, this is heat. This is fire.
No, this is why this show is fun to me, is because you and I are very similar people.
We can act similar, yeah.
But every now and then, and that's what it is. That's what I mean. The way we act is very similar. We're both
But
pretty
your taste
chill
is
dudes,
totally different.
But our taste is either completely aligned or
Yeah.
completely fucking different.
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point, somebody in the comments of this video when it comes out is going to have to recommend us the Deep Purple album that we need to cover on Whams, because they are
So-
literally one of the most influential bands of all time and very much deserve
So-
the respect.
Yeah, keep going.
You're not going to pick because you have not listened to more than 3 songs, but
Where are
somebody
we at
is going to
next?
comment with the Deep Purple album we need to listen to. Are we done?
The one with
Are we
Child
done
in
with
Time on
Clutch?
it is called In Rock.
Look, I'm just gonna say, anyone who hasn't heard "Psychic Warfare" by Clutch, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Especially if you're about to go on a big road trip. If you just have an hour drive.
I'm gonna have to bully people into actually watching this video.
Yeah.
Hopefully, at least I know this album's
Which-
more popular than Peaches by Black Keys, which is our least popular video. But
Pedro Henrique. Everyone knows Burn and Highway Star. Do you want to know the only reason I know Highway Star?
Rock Band.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, I do know Burn. Okay, so Highway Star was. So the three songs I was thinking of.
That's Deep Purple. I didn't
Were,
even know
yes,
that.
the three songs I was thinking of were "Smoke on the Water," "Highway Star," and "Child in Time."
Yeah.
I do know Burn.
What are we doing next week?
Boom, 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 money.
You stole it from me. How dare you?
He was
Sorry,
he was
I thought
leading
you
up
were
to do
ready.
it. He was about to do it.
You were off time.
It's a hit. Don't give me that good bullshit.
So funny story. Maybe this is actually better saved for next time. But somebody came in to Domino's while I was listening to that song, and he very loudly said, "Don't give me that." And then I was like, "Oh, hello."
So
Both of you, when I asked, said you have maybe listened to this whole album once,
I
which is
haven't. I've
you've
listened
never
to
listened
Money.
to it. You've maybe heard once "Dark Side of the Moon" by Pink Floyd. I've heard it.
Do you know what I think
100,000
is a
times.
necessity for this review?
What?
Is listening to this while also wait, no, that's Dark
Shit
Side of
faced?
the Moon.
Because we can do
isn't it?
that right after.
What's
this.
the one you watch in tandem with fucking,
Fucking
Wizard of
Nightmare
Oz?
Before Christmas.
Wizard of
Wizard
Oz.
of Oz. Either one.
No, so
Alice in Wonderland?
There's a
No, this is Dark Side of the Moon. This
very
is what we're
strong
talking about, right?
meme where you listen to Dark Side of the Moon while watching Wizard of Oz, and they sync up perfectly if you do it at the right time.
if you are on the right drugs.
And fuck
no,
that.
it's just if you time it.
If there's so many of these memes about different albums
Yeah.
with movies, and it's always Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, or Nightmare Before Christmas with this album, or Tool's fucking Inema, or like
Learn
there's
to
one
Swim.
other.
Okay, so Desperate Dane just said a comment that is racking my brain because my reading comprehension isn't on that level.
America's Volume Dealer is the greatest corrosion of conformity album, universally hated by fans of this band.
Deep Purple, right? Probably.
I guess.
Probably.
I'm a big fan of Wizard of Oz. I grew up watching Wizard of Oz, and I think it would be really fun to.
Let's do it. I've done these experiments before. You can
Yeah,
find YouTube videos that literally do
Okay.
this for you.
I listened.
Here's the thing: Wizard of
Wait.
Oz is a 90-minute movie, and this is a 2-minute album.
Yeah,
so
and
the
that's the other thing. How
synchronization
the fuck
is.
does it
Yeah,
sync
you're
up?
supposed
It
to
doesn't.
sync it
You
up
have
in
to
a
be on
specific way.
drugs.
Actual question: have you both seen The Wizard of Oz?
Oh yeah.
Okay.